It is $2.89 a gallon. I guess that's better than in California. What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Electric cars for us rich people.
Again and again. Konstantin Kilimnik, he's still Russian military intelligence. Kilimnik, a short man who goes by Kostya. This guy, Konstantin Kilimnik. Konstantin Kilimnik, investigating Konstantin Kilimnik for espionage. This guy, Konstantin Kilimnik, is the key that unlocks that door. It seems like it would have to be.
Crazy.
She had been that excited.
Look, why are we going to let that kid in the press room anyway? The kid with the blonde hair and the mask, I don't like him. He's always asking questions, trying to pin me down. You can't pin down old Joe. I'm like the Karate Kid. I'm like Mr. Miyagi, all right? Mr. Cobra Kai. Wax on, wax off. Look, you wax on, you wax off, you're all out of wax. That's the supply chain right there in a nutshell. Come on, man.
Kids are being indoctrinated with critical race theory in Virginia, and the Democrats wanted to deny it. And so
it's
the
not
parents
in the curriculum.
showed up
Oh,
because they don't like
really?
being lied to.
Just to be clear, it's not in the curriculum in Virginia. Just to be.
Real. Would you like me to here? Let me just read you a few things. In 2015, while Terry McAuliffe was governor, the Virginia Department of Education promoted incorporating a critical race theory lens in education. You can still find it on the Department of Education's website. Still there.
Under best practices.
In 2019, a superintendent memo for the Virginia Department of Education promoting critical race theory and the idea of white fragility.
It's not part of the curriculum. It's not part of the curriculum. I would like to move on with you.
Of course you would.
Senator.
Dog. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bong-eyed heifers, right and left wing whackers, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's in Little Dogs 2, to another version of It's News to Us. Have you got anything to say for yourself today? You want to say hello to the audience? All three of them? Nope. All right. Well, there's your intro, okay? And you are watching, if you're watching It's News to Us.
Let's see if he makes an entrance here.
The Mac Cam. You gonna do anything stupid? You gonna try and hide this week? Huh? I don't know. What am I doing? Who am I? Where am I? You got anything for me to eat?
Where's the food?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on this.
Can I sniff it? He'll sniff it. And he'll sniff it, lick it, and then try and hump it and whiz on it. You are watching It's News to Us. We're Newport, Georgia's TV news. Watch us now. Hail now, brown cow, say the locals. You'll get adult themes and adult language. Not really, but I have to tell you anyways. And we are being run by a geriocracy. Oh my God, I didn't get the clips of Pelosi talking about the bird bath and stuff. And it's like, my God, woman, if I had your money, I would get new dentures. But this is it. Senile agitation, get off my lawn. And you could see that with Biden when they asked him about giving money to illegal aliens who broke the law coming over the border.
Yeah, we're going to compensate them now.
Oh, yeah. If they took your kids. Well, you're breaking the law, fool. Now, you know, they took a lot of kids away from parents who rob banks and steal cars and beat up their wives. You know, DCF has a big backlog of kids they've taken away. Anyways, we'll get to that later. Beware the Bronze Age invisible sky god. He's going to beat you and forgive you. Of course, it's not in the papers. Just like in the old testicle. Oh, we got a couple more, Terry.
Yep.
In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, Culture Musical Knowledge. Can you, see, he's waving. See him?
I'm waving. Do you see it, guys?
Yeah, here's our cadaver in chief. And you think you kids got it bad with math? This is what Philo and I had to deal with in the old days, okay? And we didn't have calculators either. This was it, man. This was the way we had to do math.
Yeah, and we had to use a gonculator.
Yeah, abacus. And try doing long division with Roman numerals. Are you kidding me? And they didn't even have zeros. Anyways, defund the police? I don't think so. We're going to defend the cops because, you know, they're not paid that much. They have to deal with the dregs of societies. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. Oh, let's see. First, we'll get to the news that doesn't make the news. And there's a clip in here this week about Rachel Maddow going on and on about Konstantin Kilimnik. And they...
Who?
Yeah, exactly. The Russians are coming. Remember, for 5 years we heard that. Oh, Trump's colluding with the Russians.
You know, something one of these days they're going to come over here and start playing hockey and steal our National Hockey League.
Yeah, then we'll be sorry.
Ovechkin.
Then we'll be sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Durham, of course it comes out now. It couldn't come out before the election. And, you know, if this had come out before the election and exonerated Trump and proven this was all, and it leads right into the White House, that puke Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, or whatever the heck he is, that little pajama boy mofo, he was up to his ears in it when he was working for the Hillary campaign. Beep, 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 beep. He's toast. He'll wake up at the end of the show. Once Philo shuts off the cameras, bang. And you can see Philo's drumming videos at Terry DeFazio on YouTube. And I've been trying to get him to do lessons on YouTube for the children of all ages. Maybe he'll get around to it. But anyways, yeah. So because of the COVID pandemic, you know, he couldn't do interviews and stuff like that, and all these people, all these weasels were hiding out. And but they got Adam Schiff good, man. This girl on The View, of all places.
Wow.
After they kicked out McCain's daughter, they brought on this Hispanic lady. She's gorgeous. What the hell's her name? Anna Navarro? No, not Anna Navarro. Anyways, you can see her on The View. It's probably on YouTube by now. And she goes on and she's grilling Adam Schiff about this stuff. And well, you know, he did invite the Russians to. It's like she's all like, she got him and he said, well, it didn't reflect on me or something. It didn't, you know, damage me. And she said, no, just your credibility. Because this bug-eyed puke came on week after week saying, I've got the evidence. I can't show it to you because, you know, it's all secret and stuff, but I've got the evidence. We'll buy them. So we heard this for 4 years. It couldn't come out before the election. And, of course, what didn't come out before the election is the report on Hunter Biden that the senators did in August, I believe, of 2020, a year ago August, and the stuff with Biden strong-arming the Ukrainian president. He right on TV saying, look, I'm leaving in an hour, and if you don't call off that prosecutor that's chasing my son around about his dirty deals, you ain't getting $1 billion in foreign aid. You know, all this stuff, and now we find, he's just a friendly old man. No, he isn't. He's a mean, vindictive old dick. And he's getting worse.
He has a bad case of anger chucks.
Oh, yeah. We're old, we're drunk, and we're angry.
I'm not so sure about the drunk. I think he's just old and angry.
I think he manages, I think he has his tapioca pudding. He has a nap around noon. And then he has his tapioca pudding and watches Matlock. And then, like most people, yours truly included, I wait until the whistle blows at 5 o'clock, and then I have my 1 or maybe 2 beers a day. Because, God almighty, ever since I got rid of the Hep C, I really love beer, especially imported beer like Heineken and the German stuff. Oh, my God.
Try a good one? Try Carlsberg.
That's good, too, yeah.
I used to drink that years ago.
You know, Foster's, where Foster's is made now, Philo?
I don't know, but the Australians think it's junk. They won't drink it.
Yeah, well, you could try getting some of their other stuff. Good luck. Foster's is now made in San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
It says right on the can. Anyways.
Tie me kangaroo down, sport.
Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Anyways, this is insane. And Biden was on saying, when this pandemic, everybody's going to get vaccinated. Now we find out, if you go on the Chronicle of the Vermont State House or whatever it is, Guy Page's website, you can see, and he asked questions about this on Tuesday, that 57% of the deaths in Vermont were fully vaccinated people in September. 76% of October's deaths were fully vaccinated. And Joe Biden said, everybody get vaccinated, we're going to get vaccinated, you know. And we lost 1,000 people a day with COVID. Yeah, with COVID, not from COVID, with COVID, maybe.
They had one right here in Newport.
Yeah.
A woman, they said she succumbed to COVID-19, and the truth was she had a stroke 5 years ago, and she had about 1,000 other medical problems.
Oh, yeah, comorbidities. So anyways, I did the math. We lose between 3 and 3.5 million people a year, okay? Just flat out, that's how many people die in the United States every year. So if it's $3.5 million, 3.5 million a year dead, we're looking at 9,589 a day. So when they're saying 1,000 a day, well, you know what? We lose 1,000 old people a day anyways. I mean, anyways, okay? And if it's 3 million a year, it works out to 8,219 a day. So, you know, it's like liars figure and liars figure and figures lie.
No, they say figures don't lie, but liars do figure.
Yeah, something like that. Philo's got it. Thank you, Philo.
You're welcome.
And where's Jen Psaki, that copper-haired witch? Circle back Jen. She's been fully vaccinated, and now she's been out of her little press thing conference job for over a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, Philo. And you know who they have in her place? Oh my God! Somebody ought to give makeup tips to this girl. They have a little tiny black girl that's taken her place, right? And she's got, I don't know, her hair's like half straightened or something. It's not all full buckwheat, but she does this stuff with the makeup where her eyeliner, or what she puts on her eyelids, Philo,
Yep.
is almost white, right? And what she does is she reads, she doesn't read from the teleprompter, she reads from prepared statements that she has written down on the lectern, on the podium.
Okay.
So she's looking down all the time. And with her eyes pointed down or shut, they're white. They look like ghouls. It looks like, a friggin' horror movie, man.
Wow.
I was flipping around one time and I came to that and I'm all like, oh my God. it's like she has burning white colored eyes because she's always looking down. Because let's face it, she can't think that fast on her feet. When Peter Ducey asked her about that money that they're going to give to people, we're talking $500,000 for wetback. It's part of the Wetback Better program from Joe Bite Me. And they're talking about giving over $1 billion to these people who are separated from their kids. Now, here's the deal. These people, when wasn't Trump's fault. There's a thing called the Flores decision that says if you take in minors, they have to be separated from the adults, right? So what they did was they started doing DNA tests because they're quicker and they're faster than they were before, and they're finding out that these people coming across the border with the kids, they're not their kids. Not only that, so they separated the families, and Joe Biden's there. They took your kids away. Well, it's like, damn it, they have to by law, you idiot. And here's the thing. Excuse me. Let me light up another one. They
Have a smoker, Steve.
yeah. Then what they do is they give the parents a choice. They say either you can leave the kids here in the United States and they'll go off with friends or relatives, which should be illegal, or DCF or some foster families, or you can be deported and go home to wherever your home is and take your kids with you. So what do these people do? Of course, half of them leave their kids here. They want a better life for their kids. Who wouldn't, right?
That's right.
I mean, my mother, she had a hard time getting into this country after getting married to my dad in 1947, 48, something like that. And during World War II, Russia, Joe Stalin was our friend. He was our ally,
Sure.
And then by 1948, 49, when the Nuremberg trials were getting over, which my father was an MP at, Russia suddenly became an adversary because people were saying, look, they've infiltrated our government. Half the people in Roosevelt's cabinet and the part of the New Deal where they were all friggin' commies. And look it up. Don't take my word for it. Joe McCarthy was right. I mean, he was a dick and he had horrible methods, but he was right. And we found out through the Venona tape release and stuff. So anyways, you can bet your bippy that if they had offered my mother a choice and they said, look, you'll have to stay in Russia, excuse me, or the Allied zone of Germany or whatever, and your husband and the kids can go back to the United States, my mother would have sent her adopted little sister and my newly born brother. She would have gladly sent them with my father to the United States if she had to stay behind. You know what I mean, Philo?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's Hobson's choice or whatever they call it. So anyways, now we're going to pay him. The ACLU sued the United States, and we're going to pay him for breaking the friggin' law. Oh, no problem there. So anyways, Peter Ducey, the kid from Fox, he asked this black girl about it at the White House, and she's so stupid she can't think on her feet. It's not because she's black. It's not because she's a Democrat. It's because, let's face it, some people can't think on their feet. You know what I mean? And he asked her, he says, she says, well, I don't get your question. And he says, well, you know, are you going to start paying everybody who breaks the law, you know, that comes across the border? And she comes right out and she says, why would we do that? I don't get the question. Well, why would we pay people for breaking the law and coming across the border? And he's like, gotcha. Exactly. You know, why are you paying them? If you took that to a jury trial, oh my God. Take it to a jury trial. You talk about a frivolous lawsuit. And granted, you know what I would do, Philo? I would take it to a jury trial somewhere in the Southwest, right? And I would make sure every one of them jurors was a Hispanic. Either a Hispanic that came here legally and went through all the baloney that it takes to come here legally, or a second or third generation Hispanic who's Americans. They're Americans, let's face it. They happen to be Mexican, like I'm part Russian and Philo's part Italian. It's, you know, put those people on the jury. You think these wetbacks would get a friggin' nickel? I don't think so, Jack. Anyways.
You know, Biden's pushed back his vaccine mandate again.
Well, the Fifth Circuit Court ruled it illegal.
Well, yeah, he's going to lose this. No matter how much he pushes it back, he's going to lose this.
It's unconstitutional, man.
Absolutely. And
You
just
can't-
and Southwest came out with a statement earlier in the week that said we are no longer going to require vaccines for our employees. Finally, Southwest,
Because they're going to lose employees.
a lot of them.
Good employees, valued employees, employees with experience. The last thing you want is somebody taking apart friggin' jet engines that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. You think?
You wouldn't want me doing it, that's for sure.
Or somebody flying who's only got, 500 hours in a twin-engine Cessna, you know? I don't think so.
Or a Japanese Zero.
Yeah. Die, Joe. So it's just insane. So, but here's the thing: it's got an OSHA rule that says, "Oh, it's safety in the workplace." Well, no. I mean, imagine if you followed that logic downriver. That OSHA could say, "Well, we think half of your employees have a body mass index that's too high, so we're gonna make them lose weight." Or we got people, you got employees who smoke or who drink, and we're going to make sure. Henry Ford did that with his employees, remember? Used to send the Ford police to their house and look through their cabinets and stuff and make sure Daddy was home on a Friday night. It was off the charts. You okay?
Yeah.
I thought he was tapping out SOS in the booth there.
Nope, just clicking my pen.
Oh, okay. So anyways, it's insane. And we got some questions here, too. The CDC, the deaths of the fully vaccinated aren't posted anymore, Philo, on their website.
Of course, that would be counterproductive.
Why would they do that?
Because it's against their agenda.
Something's up here, people. There's something up. I mean, it's part of the data that they take in. It should be part of the charts that they've had. They were so proud of it when they were showing that, people who were vaccinated weren't dying. Well, now that they are dying, what are you guys afraid of? And the relative risk chart hasn't been updated since early September when the vaccine effectiveness started to crash. It's a chart, the rates of COVID cases by vax status. It's called the relative risk chart. It hasn't been updated since September. And what is this now? Damn, we're almost in mid-friggin' November.
Yay!
Hey, why didn't they ask Dr. Fauci Stein that when he was at the Senate last week?
Somebody's just filed suit on him too.
Oh man, I hope
remember
so.
who it is though.
Yeah, I mean, PETA finally went after him for using those beagles in those horrible experiments in Tunisia and in San Francisco, Philo.
Well, why didn't they get on that a little quicker?
You think? It's like Mothers Against Driving with all these wetbacks that are busted. Even Joe Biden came out during the campaign and says, oh, I don't think people should be deported for driving drunk. You know, even after they've killed a couple families and stuff like that. No problem. No, we want them here because we think they're going to vote Democrat. And now they're flying people in by planes. The governor in Florida is saying, hey, wait a minute, you know, you guys have jurisdictions over the airport, the FAA and stuff, but you're not going to dump plane after plane of friggin' wetbacks in our state, mister. So they're looking into ways to tax the crap out of them and stuff like that. I'm telling you, you watch. I hope they run DeSantis in the next presidential.
Well, they might, but
God, I hope
I hope
so.
they do it after I go there in vacation.
He's bright. He's got his head on his shoulders. He's pro-liberty. And now Florida, which they were spanking 3 months ago, oh, Florida's got horrible case rates, and oh, they won't mandate vaccines. And, well, now Florida has a low death rate, and Vermont is off the friggin' charts. And that stupid-ass press conference with Scott and Levine, oh, we're victims of our own success. Oh, what?
Huh?
Yeah, that's what they said.
I don't understand.
I'll send you the link to the article, man. It's insane. And I asked Ben Truman about it. God bless him. He's a good guy. He's a spokesperson for the Department of Health. He always gets right back to me. You know, that's a great thing about living in a small state. He gets right back to me. He gives all the data that I've ever asked for anytime. It's just spectacular. And he gives straight answers, unlike Herr Dr. Levine.
I got to tell you the same thing for Bernie. He'll always get an answer back from him.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you'll always get an answer back from Leahy, but it'll be the same letter that he sends everybody.
Yeah.
I know, I've got a few of them, and they all
God.
say the same thing.
They're going to give something stupid from this money, like $150 million to the Border Commission, which does absolutely nothing. I've been to their meetings to videotape them over in Swanton, remember?
Yep.
And they do nothing, Philo, nothing. And they get paid something like 60, 100, 150 grand a year just to sit on this board with his friends and relatives. It's crazy, man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Good work if you can get it.
That's what Democrats do. Roosevelt started that crap with the New Deal. It was a raw deal is what it was. And why are the all-cause mortality rates coming from countries, you know, that are vaccine? They're not looking very good either, you know, because a lot of these people who got the vaccine seem to have developed health problems afterwards, you know.
Well, the wife and I just been lucky, I guess.
Thank God. I wish you well. I mean, good grief, man. But which one did you get?
We got the double shot Moderna,
Yeah.
and we're going to get a booster next week, and we'll see. We didn't get any side effects or anything. Other people got side effects. We didn't.
Oh, God bless you. And they just had a study out of Qatar, or Qatar, whatever you want to call it, in the Middle East, that the Israeli study showed that you have 13 times more immunity from having your own antibodies, and the Qatar study showed that you have 6 times the immunity. And the Brits have come out saying studies suggest, I think this is from the Qatar study, the study suggests that vaccines may hinder the evolution of memory B cells or damage the body's ability to build broad protective status against reinfection. Yeah, and Scott, 76% of October deaths and 57% of September deaths. And Phil Scott, Governor Picklenose, calls it the pandemic of the unvaccinated. He's not saying that anymore, Philo.
Yeah, because he's got 87% vaccinated, and guess who's getting sick?
Yeah.
Both sides of the fence are getting sick, so now he can't claim that, can he?
No, and
But
it's
if you don't get vaccinated and you don't wear a mask, you're selfish. Selfish.
yeah. And now there's more. And I see people wearing masks outside. It's like, what the hell are these people thinking, man?
Even in Boylington, we had to go over there last week because the wife and I are getting new phones.
Yeah.
Only half the people are wearing the masks now, and nobody is hassling you anymore.
Oh, well, they want the business.
And I walked out of stores and I said, "You want me to wear a mask?" He said, "Yep." I said, "You don't want my money, do you?"
Exactly. That's the best way to hit them is in the pocketbook, man.
Yep. And I did. I walked out of several businesses over there.
Now, listen to what this is what Biden's exact words about the mandate, the OSHA mandate.
Uh-oh, this is going to be fun.
He says, if you break the rules, be prepared to pay. We're talking $14,000 per violation, okay? Be prepared to pay, and by the way, show some respect. I mean, who talks like that? They used to say that Trump acted like a mafia boss. What, are you kidding me? If you break the rules, be prepared to pay, and by the way, show some respect. Look it up on YouTube. Don't take my word for it. And then he said, let me be blunt. My plan also takes on elected officials in states that are undermining you and these life-saving actions. If these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I will use my power as president to get them out of the way. Who talks like this?
Somebody who's old and senile.
And and who's a dick. Somebody who's a dick.
Oh, he's a nice old man.
Oh, he's a nice old guy. He spent all that time, hanging out with the segregationists in the Senate,
Yeah, he's been in government since the early 70s. He still hasn't done anything useful.
And speaking of the CDC, Philo, the FDA has not released the Pfizer clinical efficacy and safety reviews yet. They were presented on August 23rd, and with every other drug on the planet, they put it up there the same day that they get it from the drug manufacturer. So we're talking September, October, November. Next week will be the 23rd. It'll be 3 months, and the FDA won't post Pfizer's clinical safety reviews. Why is that? Huh? It's traditionally posted online at the same time. And then Biden, when he was president-elect, they asked him about mandating vaccines in December of last year. And you know what he said, Philo?
What's that?
He says, no, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand it be mandatory.
And now he's doing it.
Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi, she said, we cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not who we are, what we can do. It's a matter of privacy to know who is and who isn't. Yet now we've got this OSHA emergency temporary standard. Yet in August, the CDC director said the vaccines no longer prevent COVID from spreading. Wait a minute. The CDC director comes out and says that the vaccines don't prevent people from spreading the virus.
I know. So why are the people who are vaccinated so upset by the people who aren't when both can spread it anyway?
I'm telling you, there's something up here. It's
Yeah.
like Joe says, there's something going on, people.
Well, you know what it is it's the people who are marching lockstep are somehow, I think they're actually jealous.
Well, usually, and I've found all through my life, Philo, and you and I are almost the same age.
You know, we're old.
We're old, we're
Folks,
drunk, and we're angry.
We're really old.
We're
when
really
old. They talk to us, Steve, they go, ye old, O-L-D-E.
Yeah. That's it. Like I told you, man, this is the way we had to do math when we were kids. This was the way we had to do math. That's how old we are.
Well, we learned Roman numerals. You know, out in Montana, which is actually a pretty good state, my two granddaughters, who are 18 and 15, do not know how to read or write in cursive.
That's rugged if you got to do any research in libraries or deeds and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
My wife wrote them a letter, and when they got it, they said to their mom, "What's this?"
Yeah.
They didn't know what in cursive writing was.
Is this English?
I think it's Swahili.
Yeah, so anyways, all my life, it always boils down to money, okay?
Of course.
These friggin' vaccine manufacturers are making a fortune. Let's make no mistake about that. It's not free by any means, okay?
Nope.
But the thing that the Democrats love and the government loves is they're pushing it. Now, see, this is what I don't get, because the Republicans used to be the totalitarians, and now the script is flipped. The Republicans are pro individual liberty. Go figure. Yeah. I never thought I'd see that since 1964, when Barry Goldwater said extremism and defense of liberty is no vice. I mean, holy mackerel, that sums it up right there. But anyways, now it's a combination, I think, Philo, of profit and control.
Definitely.
Because if they figure that they can get away with making people take a drug that they may not want, don't need, and doesn't even look like it's working, then what can't they do? You know what I mean?
Well, it's a matter of what are they going to get away with and how far can they push it. So, see, right now they're loosening things a little so people will shut up. It's just like it's just like the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Look at what that did, and look at what has happened to people, and yet nobody says a word.
What's the next health emergency, Philo?
Exactly. Oh, there'll be another virus. Just give it a couple of years.
No. Let's go beyond that. What's the next health emergency? The climate crisis, right?
Yeah.
They told us when they were running for president, when they were all up on stage during the debates, they're going to get rid of fossil fuels. And I was talking to Todd. I mean, you don't do it right away, but they're stupid. They just cut it out immediately, and now they're begging Saudi Arabia and OPEC for more oil. I mean, it's crazy. It's not that we're going to burn any less oil. We're just going to pay through the nose from Saudi Arabia. You think these American manufacturers wouldn't be out there drilling their hearts away, making $80 a barrel? Hell, they were drilling here when it was $30 a barrel under Trump. Fools. So anyways, what's the next emergency? Climate crisis, okay. And then what's the next emergency? Gun violence, dude. Gun violence. You know, it's a public health emergency. We've lost more children to gun violence in them, inner city areas where we don't live. And Joe Biden's got a $500,000 wall around his house, yet he won't put a wall on the border and build the taxpayers, by the way. Thank you, Mr. President. And Obama's so concerned about climate, rising sea levels, that he bought a place right on the ocean in Martha's Vineyard, 3 feet above sea level, Philo.
That's pretty good.
What's up with that? So that's it. The next emergencies are going to be the climate crisis. Oh, you can see it. They're pushing it. I got it in the papers day after day after day, every single freaking day. And so this is it. This is the test. This is where we have to draw the line and say, no, absolutely not. We will not comply. And we're not going to give up our cars or our guns. We can give up our cars slowly, okay? We can go to hybrids. We can go to hydrogen. Hydrogen actually makes more sense than friggin' electric cars, especially in northern climates. Anyways.
Yeah, you ever see I got a picture, I should have sent it to you. It shows an electric car, and it's being charged up by a generator that's powered by gas.
Exactly. Or a coal-powered plant, Well, China and India and Russia, didn't even show up in Scotland for the COP26.
Well, the thing of it is, you and I know climate change is going to happen. Because we are not sitting here in the middle of the universe. We're flying through space and we're affected by a lot of things. That's why the dinosaurs died at one point in time, because the climate changed.
Yes.
However, what we have to concentrate on is pollution.
Very abruptly. Yes, exactly.
Pollution is the key here.
And we can get there. What we do is we've already lowered our emissions by over 1/3 as a country just by switching to natural gas. And in the meantime, when the economy's going good, that's the time to raise taxes and friggin', and start switching, start hardening the grid, start putting in hydrogen stations. Because let's face it, they don't have the technology now for a battery-powered electric in northern climates. And Biden keeps talking about the buses. Well, the buses don't work. There's 20, 30 of them in Philadelphia that they're suing they don't work. Duluth, Minnesota, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Indianapolis. They all shit-canned their friggin' electric buses because they don't work. You can't run the heater. They don't have the range. They can't go up and down hills. We're not there yet, okay? And we're better off like the trains that run on the tracks today. They're diesel locomotives. It doesn't mean that the diesel's pushing the friggin' wheels. No. What they are, the diesel is a generator, and they have motors on every wheel. And we've seen that with Priuses, where you can have like a little friggin' Briggs & Stratton engine that runs like a lawnmower, say, right, Terry?
Yep.
And you run a generator to either power the friggin' motor or power the batteries that do the motor, and then plug in there's a bunch of ways. You can't do it in a friggin' shock therapy all at once, you idiots. And that's gonna get their asses thrown right out of power, and I can't wait.
Well, the midterm's coming up, and I'll guarantee you, I will bet you that both houses flip.
Oh, people are pissed, dude. You know, I mean, they're just gonna transitory inflation. Are you kidding me? It's not transitory. It's friggin' here now. It's hurting the crap out of everybody. And he blames it on the virus. Oh yeah, blame the virus.
Oh sure, that's an easy scapegoat right now, isn't it?
Yeah. So the FDA. All right. Oh yeah, here we are. The OSHA's emergency temporary standard went into effect, yet in August, the CDC director said that it doesn't prevent it from spreading, and the CDC won't say how many of their own CDC employees have taken the vaccine, Philo.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
And you notice the Senate's exempt, and the Congress is exempt. And now the postal workers and truckers, how does that work? You're going to shove it on the rest of us when a long-haul trucker who goes from here to here to here to here to here what the hell? You're crazy. People are crazy. And now the California rate is 2 times what Florida's is, yet they have mask mandates and vaccine pass cards and everything else. And for the first time at Doctors Hospital in Florida, they haven't treated any coronavirus patients in Sarasota. And what's his face? Governor DeSantis has strategically placed monoclonal antibodies throughout the system, so that if people come in with COVID symptoms right away, they can get the antibodies. And
Mackey's awake now.
Oh, good grief! Finally. And I was reading this article on Substack or something, and a doctor with 25 years experience wrote in, and he said that the reason that doctors don't speak up anymore is because there's no curiosity, there's no groupthink. They don't do autopsies anymore for anyone, Philo, right? And he said a few doctors are interested in finding the truth because they've streamlined the staff and they have no independent doctors. And if the doctors disagree, the companies fire you and you have to move. And the hospital committees are company men paid millions to agree with policies that don't make any sense, like stupid temperature screenings. And it's all show. There's no outcome data. And the people think that the CDC is following this vaccine rollout, but they have no idea, nor how many complications are. There's none. And the post-approval analysis there should have been a post-approval analysis after the first 500,000 doses, like with any other medication, a new medication, right, Philo?
Yeah.
None. There's been none. Why?
You do not ever want to trust the CDC for anything.
But they've done it with the FDA's done it with every other medicine. It's insane.
The CDC cannot be trusted.
They
have said too many things that really have been proven to not be true.
And they won't even tell us how many of their own employees.
That's right.
And
excuse me.
So they should have tested the first. They had an analysis after the first 500,000 doses, and then got checked out the complications and efficacy, and examined it by an accurate method. And the doctor, this was his last words, is he's cringed about the idea to think about vaccinating children, because it's crazy. And in the news too, we had a 16-year-old girl beat a Dorchester principal senseless, Philo, a female. So this 16-year-old girl beat the Dorchester principal senseless, knocked her down on the ground, and she was completely unconscious. They had to truck her butt to the hospital. And what did her mother say?
She's a good girl.
She's a good girl, a very good girl. She was on the ground. She had serious injuries, and they had 2 safety officers to hold the girl down. They let her out on $5,000 bail, and her auntie said that she's a sweet, loving person who was being provoked because the principal was following her and other kids around on the campus who didn't belong there after hours. That's being provoked, I guess.
Yep, it is now.
Ah, yeah, no problem, right? Oh, and Camilla, the Duchess of York, you remember who Prince Charles once said that he wanted to be a tampon? He wanted to be one of her tampons, Philo?
I don't remember that one. My God, what kind of idiocy is that?
He did. Look it up. Don't take my word for it.
I worked in a machine shop and I haven't even heard that one.
It was right when the internet was starting, and Princess Di was caught him screwing around with Camilla, and before they got divorced. But anyways, she's called the Duchess of Cornhole now, right? Or Cornwall, something like that.
Cornwall, because cornhole's a game.
Yeah. Oh, it's something else too.
Yep. It's funny they would call a game that. It's funny they would name a game that.
Yeah. Get cornhole. Anyways, she said that Biden. She was at the meeting, the Copperfield 26 meeting, and luckily she didn't. He didn't sniff her hair like he does with all the other women he's feeling up. But she said that Biden let out a fart that was long, loud, and impossible to ignore. And on May 2020, I went through this interview and I tried to catch him farting, but you can hardly hear it on the microphone, where he's having an interview with the governor of Pennsylvania, Tom Wolf, and he shifts in his seat, and you can barely hear this. So it's not just what's his face, Swalwell, that farts in public. And we told you about him changing suits after being with the Pope. Now here's the thing. I've learned this long ago. Okay, it may be cute when you're a kid and you fart. I knew people who could do it on command practically, right?
Yeah.
But as you get older, it's not a good idea unless you got a change of clothes handy. You know what I mean? Because you start thinking you can do that, and then suddenly, you think you farted and you crapped your knickers. And this is what we think happened to Biden when he met the Pope. And then Mr. Smarty Pants, he can rip out a good one with Mr. Weird Hat in Rome. Yeah.
We had a guy like that in the shop. He was so proud of himself. The worse it stank, he was so proud of himself. Nobody wanted to be around him, though. He couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. And last but not least, this quarterback who won't take the vaccine, Aaron Rodgers, Philo?
Yep, I know all about it.
They were screaming bloody murder about him. And again, like we said with Mothers Against Driving and the wetbacks, the illegal aliens, where are they? The sports media was all over this Rodgers guy. Meanwhile,
yep, Aaron Rodgers.
Henry Ruggs III was driving his Corvette drunk at speeds over 100 miles an hour, Philo, last weekend, I think, or last week. He slammed into a 23-year-old girl in a RAV4, and it burst into flames, killing her. His blood alcohol level was 2 times the legal limit, and he was going over 150 miles an hour in his Corvette.
Yeah, I can't remember what team he plays for, but I read all about that.
And who does the media concentrate on? The
Aaron
vaccine
Rodgers.
guy.
But he did make the. I did read about that guy though, the guy that killed a woman, drunk driver.
Ruggs, yeah.
Yeah, that was on the net.
But not on the talking head media, sports
probably
media,
not. No.
or ESPN. And I got
those
some good
guys.
ones in here. This is the former Chi-Com newspaper. I get it once a week. It's really good. You can check them out on the net because you can get real news here. These are all friggin' Chinese Americans who got out of communist China, Philo, right?
Oh, who would want to do such a thing?
Yeah, it's a paradise over there. So, anyways, that clip we had on last week's show, the clip of the doctor saying, oh well, we have to try the vaccine on kids before we know what it'll do, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We ran that clip last week, and Representative Greg Murphy, who's a doctor from and a congressman from North Carolina, he said, "This is literally the most dangerous statement I've ever heard in medicine." Yeah, here it is. The New England JAMA editor-in-chief, Dr. Eric Rubin, said, "We're never going to learn about how safe this vaccine is unless we start giving it." Is that insane? So you're going to treat every kid in this country like as a guinea pig when we've only lost 200, and out of these 200 kids, all of them, except for one, all of them have had serious comorbidities, cancer, everything else. We've showed you the data. And yet they're going to start jabbing kids with this stuff. And there's only about 200 and something of them that have died from COVID, if that. Like we said, with Dr. Marty McCary, look it up on the net. We don't know how many because the CDC is fudging the figures. But yeah, we're going to jab kids 5 to 11. It's crazy. And here it is. Yeah, $450,000. 44 Republican lawmakers are demanding answers from Biden about paying $450,000 to each illegal immigrant who crossed the border illegally in 2018. And infections, hospitalizations, and death from the virus have risen amongst people who've gotten the vaccine, according to the CDC. Case rate per 100,000 was 12.3 in late June, and then it rose to 8.9 and 1.1 per 100,000. Wait a minute, it's going backwards in time, sorry. But yeah, it's okay. We're not sure how it works or if it works or whatever, but line up, sign up now. Gas prices are a 7-year high. I don't have to tell that to anybody who drives. Gun sales are still climbing.
Of course.
Yeah, they did 2.6 million background checks in October alone, dude. Oh, and I was watching the Rittenhouse trial of that kid who shot those anti-fa-fa-fa-la-la-la-la wackos in Kenosha last year. It was a 17-year-old kid. And Swamp Viking asked me last night, he said, what's that kid doing? He crossed state lines to go to Kenosha and confront these demonstrators. I said, they weren't demonstrators. I said, these guys came in from out of state, and he's crossed state lines. It's like the kid lives right near the border. He grew up in Kenosha. His father still lives there. I mean, you talk about a border, it's like us going to New Hampshire. You know what I mean, Philo?
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. You cross the border. And so what happened was they put out the call. He'd been in the police cadets. He was undergoing EMT training and firefighter training at 17. So him and his buddies went out. They grabbed a couple of AR-15s and first aid kits, and they went and they tried to stop these wackos from friggin', what were they doing? They were smashing cars at car lots. They were breaking friggin' into businesses and lighting them on fire, and the cops couldn't handle it, and the governor didn't call in the National Guard. So these kids went out. Swamp Vikings are like, would have you done that at 17? I'm all like, yeah, you're damn right I would have done it. Are you kidding me? If these wackos came in from out of town and started whacking people with skateboards, and one of the guys that he shot, two of the guys that he shot were armed with pistols, Philo. Now, what are peaceful demonstrators doing armed with pistols?
Well, I'm not sure, but there's got to be a good reason.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the anti-fa-la-la guys he shot and killed had whacked him in the head with a skateboard. And you see the video, the friggin' busted cement blocks. They were throwing cement blocks at people and chunks of them. It was insane. And the cops, he went up to the cop immediately and said, look, I shot two people. And the cops are all, screw it, we can't deal with it now. And he said, we'll get to it later. And the defense has the prosecution has no case at all, man. None. And, world leaders commit to joint action to save forests, like that's going to happen. But the best article in here was the one in the back. Oh, here we are. We got a brutal bureaucracy. They were talking about China having the hypersonic missiles testing. And this is funny because the Chinese missile was at Mach 5 times the speed of sound. And yet Russia 3 weeks earlier, Russia had tested a Mach 7 missile and had barely made the blip. But China is, Russia's not aggressive like China is. And so anyways, but the best article here was the gain of function statement on EcoHealth inadvertently revealed the cover-up. They came out, the NIH, thanks Philo, they came out and they admitted it, man. And Fauci's still claiming under oath. And it turns out we can't sue the Chinese, Philo. Why? Because we gave them the money and we were in on it partially. Here we are. The NIH also failed to say that the existence of the blueprint for the creation of the virus. In 2018, EcoHealth submitted a proposal to DARPA. And what does DARPA stand for, Philo?
I'm not sure. There's too many acronyms around.
Yeah, well, it's the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. They're the ones who gave Zuckerberg all that money to develop YouTube, the giant InfoSuck website or platform. You look, because DARPA and the CIA stopped doing this stuff the day before Facebook was, what do you call it? Not invented, but made legal. So DARPA, yeah, they had submitted a proposal to DARPA that detailed the plan to create an entirely new coronavirus viruses through synthetic combination of pre-existing virus backbones. The proposal described how the viruses were going to be made more virulent in humans by the insertion of a furin cleavage site. A furin cleavage site. Remember, Fauci's damn emails show that in January of 2020, one of his underlings sent him an email saying that he looked at the virus and he saw the cleavage sites where they sliced and diced it, proving that it was man-made. And what did Fauci do? He's still lying to this day because he's complicit. It's insane, man.
And Rand Paul got him too.
Yeah, well, he's still lying. He should be wearing an orange jumpsuit. He should be forced to resign in disgrace. Yeah, it was, and the NIH gain-of-function wording was remarkably similar to a statement from Fauci's spokesperson. Oh, and what did they do? They just changed the wording of it. To try and walk it back, they just changed the description of it so that when Fauci Stein went to talk to Rand Paul, this is how long the article is. This is just the first part of it. I mean, this is a newspaper for people like me who used to like to read newspapers because there's a ton of data in here and it explains it in long form. It's not for the short attention span. But here we are. The Wuhan Institute deleted the entire database of 22,000 unreported virus samples on September 12th, 2019. September 12th. And we didn't see it come over here until what, January? The following year? At exactly the same time, the NIH was making the gain-of-function admission, which was a couple weeks ago. The agency quietly edited its website to redefine what constituted gain-of-function experiments. In doing so, the NIH narrowed its definition to focus only on known and established human transmission. I can't go into that all day. We'll be here all day. But it's insane. And here we are. Oh, this was it. It was funny as hell, man. Terry McAuliffe, one of his advisors, the guy who got beaten down in Virginia for the governor race, right? He's like light-skinned and he's got light hair. So what did they do? They put lipstick on him before he went out to talk to the public on election night. And it was literally putting lipstick on a pig, man. It's so funny. He looks like one of those old silent movie stars like Valentino or something with the dark lipstick, Philo. It's hysterical. You have to see it to believe it. Yeah. WHO authorized the Indian-made vaccine months into its use. It's called Covaxin. It's extremely suitable in poor countries. It's easier to store. You don't need the, what do you call it? The friggin' freezers and crap. Yeah, the Air Force said that 8,500 have missed their deadline for their shots, Philo.
Imagine that.
They're gonna bounce all of our high, the technical people and pilots and everybody that we've trained explicitly over the years.
Okay, last but not least.
Oh, last but not least, all right. Culture wars rage in school board races. Well, that's because people, it's not up here yet, supposedly. People found out what their kids were learning, and it turns out that they were looking over their shoulders on their kid's laptop and finding that all they're teaching now is reading, racism, and racism! That's all there is. Yeah, not one kid fatality. They're going to push it. Well, anyways. Geez, an hour goes quick, don't it? Oh, Mackie, you want to come up for the exit? Or the outro, as the old timers say. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully, we'll see you again next week, inshallah, as the Hebrabs say. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy and the man dressed in front of you, head east towards Mecca and pray towards the meteorite over there, and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Mackie! You're getting fat, Jack.
And a happy Deus Magnus S to you.
You're lucky you got 4 legs.
In Sturgis, Michigan, it is $2.89 a gallon. I guess that's better than in California. What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Electric cars for us rich people.
Again and again. Konstantin Kilimnik, he's still Russian military intelligence. Kilimnik, a short man who goes by Kostya. This guy, Konstantin Kilimnik. Konstantin Kilimnik, investigating Konstantin Kilimnik for espionage. This guy, Konstantin Kilimnik, is the key that unlocks that door. It seems like it would have to be.
Crazy.
She had been that excited.
Look, why are we going to let that kid in the press room anyway? The kid with the blonde hair and the mask, I don't like him. He's always asking questions, trying to pin me down. You can't pin down old Joe. I'm like the Karate Kid. I'm like Mr. Miyagi, all right? Mr. Cobra Kai. Wax on, wax off. Look, you wax on, you wax off, you're all out of wax. That's the supply chain right there in a nutshell. Come on, man.
Their kids are being indoctrinated with critical race theory in Virginia, and the Democrats wanted to deny it. And so
well, it's
the
not
parents
in the curriculum.
showed up
Oh,
because
really?
they don't like being lied
I mean,
to.
just to be clear, it's not in the curriculum in Virginia. Just to be.
Yeah, would you like me to here? Let me just read you a few things.
In
2015, while Terry McAuliffe was governor, the Virginia Department of Education promoted incorporating a critical race theory lens in education. You can still find it on the Department of Education's website, still there.
Under best
In February
practices.
2019, a
It's
superintendent
not-
memo
it's not
to the
part of
Virginia
the-
Department of Education promoting critical
Senator,
race theory
it's
and the
not-
idea of white fragility.
It's not part of the curriculum. It's not part of the curriculum. I would like to move on.
Of course you would.